Previously on the LCS.
Thanks for joining us for Super Wednesday, 12 straight matches.
Everyone on CLG is dead! MRN going to upset CLG. Oddwin, triple kill, Heartbeat going forward, flashes in, finds Cyrus. Can he get one more Quadra? Really? You didn't go for the Penta?
You got to reset on your jump, dude. Come on.
That is going to be MRN taking up another win here in the LCS over Good Game University.
3-game streak right there for MRN. Not too shabby.
Saint going down. Now Kopp is the center of attention. 2 more attacks to go. He's been revealed. One more ult. It's going to be Scarra finding that one. Dignitas have ended Curse's undefeated streak.
You guys smile so much, like you're such a happy team.
Again,
cool.
The Xerath, I call that the first game, and we actually see it twice now. He just became popular like overnight. Boom.
Team Solo mid coming back on this one in an hour-long game to take down Vulcan.
Wow, 62 minutes. They are exhausted after that one.
That is Dignitas still in first place.
Another just stomp fest for Dignitas. That's 10 wins in a row in the LCS, and they're not even phased by that one. That was just a walk in the park.
He called exactly where Saint was going on that. Can he still get the damage down to Sapling to run it? Oh, he gets him! Touchdown, Sapling!
Welcome back, everybody, to Week 6 of the North American LCS. I am David Freak Turley, and I am very happy to be joined by everyone's favorite medal-loving madman from Europe, the mighty Lee D-Man-Smith.
Thank you, Freak. It's great to be back here in sunny Southern California. And it looks like I've picked the right week to return because we've got lots of exciting movement in the standings.
Absolutely, man. And as most of you know, this past weekend, the teams traveled to Dallas to battle the MLG Winter Championships. It was host to tons of upsets and tons of drama.
Tons of damage?
Anyway, in case you missed the matches last week, let's give you a quick recap of what happened.
Yeah, of course, there was 2 major losses for Dignitas. They gave up their #1 spot to Curse.
And Complexity came up, tripling their number of wins, bringing them to 3. Good Game University got an upset win over Counter Logic Gaming, and we had our first Challenger Circuit tournament. We got Velocity eSports and Cloud9 into the LCS qualifiers for the second half of the season. And finally, we had an international show match. Congratulations go to KT Rolster B for their $10,000 victory over Gambit Gaming in the finals.
Yeah, so after all the upsets at MLG, let's take a look how the standings are right now. Of course, it is Curse Gaming. They took top place. They are 12-2 now with Dignitas' losses, making them go 11-4. Team Solo Mid, they've had a tumultuous? I don't even know the word.
Turmoil's good.
English is hard for me.
It is. It's not
hard
like your native language.
They are 9-5 currently in the league, and Counter Logic Gaming 8-6 in 4th place.
And now in American, we can see that Vulcan are at 6-10, up to 5th place with their great performance. MRN down to 6th at 4-8. Complexity, we just talked about them, 3-9. And GG, unfortunately, in last at 3-12.
It was indeed a very unexpected turn of events last weekend at Dallas. So let's see if that trend continues with the games today. First off, the pressure is on for Dignitas to prove that their struggles last week weren't just a freak accident. Yeah. But they're going up against Team MRN, who are hoping the addition of Nienton So to pull their lineup together. Is it going to change things? Who knows? Will it give them the edge they need to take down the veterans? For the second game, it is going to be a rematch of last weekend's TSM versus Complexity. TSM was the only team to defeat Complexity at MLG. We'll see if they can do it again today.
And after that, it is Counter Logic Gaming versus Team Dignitas. Now, both these teams will be fighting to bounce back from a pretty rough MLG Dallas. We'll see if they can do well here. And finally, on the day, Team Solo Mid takes on MRN. Now, MRN is victorious over a heavily favored TSM back in Super Wednesday in Week 4. And we'll see if Lightning can strike twice.
Okay, some of you may have noticed a new option on the LoL eSports site, where you can now vote for which team you think will win each match.
So go to lolesports.com right now, click on Matches at the top right corner, and vote away. Your choice is counted immediately, so check it out and challenge your friends to see who has the most accurate predictions.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back. Now we're going to take a look at the top 5 bans in the championship in the North American LCS so far. I should point out just the North American, not the European. Starting off at number 5 with 18 bans this season is Elise. She's had a total of 20 picks. That's a lot of picks so far. Had a 70% win ratio, and Curse and Dignitas have both gone for it 5 times.
She's a really, really strong assassin pick. You know, starts out from range, dives in for the kill at the end. But she's so versatile is the really big key. We see her mostly in the top lane, but we see a lot of teams run her in the jungle, in the mid, even as a support. And the thing is, we did nerf her at the live patch just a couple days ago. That's actually not live here at the tournament realm. So you're seeing the old, a little bit more overpowered Elise.
I think balanced is the correct term.
Well, now hopefully, but not here.
Maybe we'll see. Of course, our number 4 top ban champion in North America so far is a total of 19 bans. It's Xin Zhao. And of course, he's had a total of 26 picks. That's a hell of a lot of picks with 57.7% win ratio. English really is hard for me today.
It's okay. We'll get it going. I mean, you're not in England anymore, so I realize you're getting
I've
corrupted.
not been in England for a long time, to be fair.
Whatever. Anyway, but he is, of course, an amazingly strong jungler. He's really good at ganks. He's got a gap closer, a slow, and a knock-up. He builds tanky. And even if he gets into a one-on-one duel in the jungle, he tends to win those as well.
He really became the main champion that everybody sort of plumbed for until they've switched around and became banned all the time. And of course, coming at number 3 with 24 bans is Nidalee. This one surprised me a lot, honestly. She's had a total of 14 picks with a 64.3% win ratio.
And this is another versatile champion who can run in the mid lane or the top lane. He can run as an AP long-range poke and healer or a split-pushing bruiser. But she's been so powerful and key to a lot of the victories here. Mandatory Cloud from Vulcan ran her in their first win of the season against CLG. Voiboy did a great job when Curse started getting all their first wins. So it's a good champion.
Well, maybe when Yenton So down there, you know, formerly a mid player, we're going to see him running it as an AD, or maybe
Pull
an AP,
Hosan?
just like Hosan. Yeah, who knows? Now the second most banned champion this season with 27 bans is the Cardmaster Twisted Fate. He's had a total of 8 picks so far with an 87.5% win ratio.
And of course, his big impact on the game is that global ultimate, that destiny. It's just, he gets around there, gets the ganks, crushes the side lanes out. And even when he doesn't do that, he's got great gold income through his passive, great wave clear, and he is a just highly contested champion for a good reason.
Even from the very early days of WCG 2010, the Cardmaster was causing problems. But of course, our number 1 most banned champion, blowing all others out of the water with a total of 40 bans, way ahead of everyone else, is the Winged Warrior with the ultimate. It is Kayle. But the irony is, she's had a total of 13 picks, but only a 38.5% win ratio.
That is a bit surprising because she is super high impact. The ult allows initiators to go in recklessly and take a bunch of burst, or you can play an unsafe carry like Draven or Kog'Maw and keep it from getting dived and allow them to put damage output out in a team fight. And then even on her own end, she has really good DPS with her E and Q, so she's just strong overall.
Yeah, she's one of the few champions that the team coming up, Dignitas, basically said they will change all strategies if Kayle is available. So we'll see how that works out. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear what you have to say. So hop onto Twitter and tell us the question of the day. It is, who do you think the MVP for the NALCS so far is, and why?
We are at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag LCS. We'll read the best responses later on in the show.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are mere moments away from our first match of the day. When we return, it's going to be Dignitas versus MRN, so don't go anywhere.
Dignitas is overall a really strong team. We're actually pretty scared of Dignitas because they've actually crushed us really hard in their scrims. With the wins they got, we are a little bit more worried.
I think they've been definitely underestimated by a huge amount.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In just a minute, we'll get into our first match of the day. But right now, we've been talking a lot about what went down in Dallas over the weekend. If, like me, you couldn't go, here's a look inside what it's like to be there. God, English is wrong for me today.
We're here at MLG Dallas, the 2013 Winter Championship. We have 3 League of Legends tournaments going on, an international tournament as well as a qualifier tournament for the League of Legends Championship Series, and then the LCS, the first time out of its home here at MLG.
So far, the experience has been awesome.
There's a ton of people here, and everybody gets hyped whenever somebody makes a play. Even in the booths, when something happens, you can hear the crowd roaring.
You can feel like it vibrating sometimes if they're going really crazy. I feel like adrenaline starts pumping more. I can concentrate better. I just feel like I'm definitely on top of my game.
It really gives us good practice because the Worlds is going to be in front of a live audience. For newer teams that aren't used to playing in front of the setting, they're really nerve-wracked. They haven't ever played on a live audience before. For being a more veteran team, we've played in front of a live audience dozens of times, and it gives us a huge advantage.
It's all about adapting whenever you come to a new place. Like, sometimes it's too cold, you can't get your hands warm. Sometimes there's no hand warmers, like in the LCS in LA, there's always hand warmers. Like stuff like that, sometimes you forget and you don't prepare, and it can throw you off your game.
There's a lot of temptations of things to do out at night, things to do while you're instead of games, so you get distracted extremely easily. It can happen, it already happened here in this tournament, and you get carried away and you forget that your main priority here is that you're still playing in the LCS. It's just like back home.
I actually got food poisoning, so preparation is key. This is like the first time I've ever gotten food poisoning out of all events I went to, out of 12 events. So I learned something really big today was don't eat fish before a match because, of what happened to me, and I should have just went with something more simple. Going to one of these events is major. It really helps us interact with fans, and again, like everything is all about our fans, so we want to make them happy. Everyone loves tires. Come on.
And it's really, really amazing that people actually take time out of their lives to come and support us, and it makes eSports and League of Legends of what it is today.
It's always very nice to meet fans. Like I ended up signing, I think for almost an hour and 30 minutes yesterday, I just ended up signing autographs for a long time, trying to get out of my seat.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you for a hug.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I've been to a live event, and it's really amazing. I got to meet a lot of great people. I actually think it's like kind of like a privilege to sign all of their stuff, because like I don't even know who I am yet, so like they want to like have my name on their stuff. It's really great.
I'm really happy to see that the LCS was able to come out in full force.
And it was great for me to see the reactions of some of the guys, especially the new guys that have gone to these events, because previously, before the LCS, these guys went to these events. Some of them might have been to MLGs before, but they weren't so well known. Now they're going to them like you just saw MIA at the end there, just going, this is amazing.
I don't even know who I am. They want my signature.
This is great.
Yeah.
And then Scara, a hot blonde girl runs up and says he wants to hug you, and he's like, okay. I could take it. I could take
life.
it. Tough life for these guys. Now it's time to kick things off so it's going to be Dignitas versus MRN. Both of these teams have had a rough week at the MLG. As we mentioned before, Dignitas' 10-game win streak was snapped by Complexity. MRN also on a bit of a streak of their own, but unfortunately it's a losing streak. They are now 4 in a row for losses. That is not a good way to come into this game.
It's not. And of course, this time, though, they've changed their lineup around. They've brought Nian Tanso in full time, and he's now going to be starting on AD carry. They've actually moved Heartbeat to the dedicated starting support, replacing Atomic N completely. And Echo, he's still a little bit sick, but he says he feels good enough to play, and he'll be back to his starting role in the mid lane.
And of course, Dignitas, they only won the one game, and it was against Good Game University, currently sitting bottom of the league.
Yeah, they basically had fought, at the time, the 3 lowest teams in the league went 1-2 at the time. You'd expect a team like Dignitas to go 3-0 there. So they might be a bit shaken as well. Sometimes it's hard to start with a new roster, but we'll see what happens for both these teams.
Yeah, and I wonder how much that loss they had against Complexity, how much that affected them later on in the day. They played Gambit, the top European team right now. Did it put on a tilt? Do you think that sort of thing would affect them so much?
I feel like a high-caliber team like Dignitas has been to enough tournaments where they're like, yeah, losses happen, like, we'll just turn it around and kind of come back. You know, certainly fluky losses can happen, like, random things go on, but a team like that's got to be able to bounce back.
And the main key really for this game is the fact that Dignitas did win last time they met.
Yeah, they matched up. Patoy had an amazing game on Alistair. He went like 1-0-13. I actually talked to him a little bit today. He like showed me a couple of his rune pages, was like, here's a champion I'll probably never get to play. And he wouldn't tell me what it was. But he like has like 2 rune pages like prepared for a single champion. He's just ready for anything.
Maybe it was Elise support. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows? Okay, so let's check out the lineups on the blue team. It is going to be Dignitas. And of course, Kiwi Kid at the top has played fantastically in the NA LCS. Crumbs in the top jungle, Skara in the mid lane, and I'm a Cutie Pie and Patoy as the duo lane. But the question is, where will they be? Will they be mid? Will they be bottom? Who knows?
It's definitely up in the air. But of course, on the red team, we do have Team MRN, Mega Zero starting in the top lane, Claky D still in the jungle, Echo returning to mid for now, feeling okay-ish. Neon Tonsa, the new starting AD carry, and Heartbeat, the new starting support.
And you got to wonder, with all of these changes that have happened, how much it's going to affect the chemistry of the team. We know for a fact internally that, you know, the battle for support was only like a day away.
Yeah, they've.
I mean, there's no prep there.
Yeah, I actually asked them about that, and they said they've played 2 scrims on the new lineup so far, and that Neon Tonsa and Heartbeat have played about 10 solo queue games together, or I guess duo queue games together. So that lane has 12 games of experience. They played a couple of scrims. They said it was 2 scrims, but then they told me their records, and they went 1-2 against Curse in scrimmages, and they went like 1-1 with CLG. So they've had decent results with this new lineup. We'll see if it works for them. Of course, we're in a champion select. Let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. What sort of bans are we expecting here, Freak? Straight away, we can see Renekton being taken out from Mega Zero.
Kale away from Skara. That, you know, I know they love to pick up Draven. I don't think he's the most worrisome champion to deal with, but it's when Draven has a Kale on his team, so he doesn't have that team fight weakness anymore. That's the really big difficulty.
Thresh being taken away, maybe that was the new one that Patoy was going to unleash. Aurelia, of course, also banned away. Everything targeted so far against Mega Zero.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, really. He's got... I don't really know what his champion pool is like, but it seems a little bit shallow. We see him on, you know, fighter-based top laners, and it's sometimes a little bit rocky when he doesn't get a good start on a good fighter. So those bans dropped out against him. I mean, he's got basically a Kali left as his like major top lane pick. We'll see what happens.
The one champion I'm seeing that's not been banned is Singed. It's available, and well, we've seen Kiwi Kid on that. He is 5 for 5 on Singed right now, but Elise is also available, and they've picked that 5 times as well.
Oh, that makes a heck of a lot of sense, because Elise actually is a really good lane against Singed. And so if you kind of pick that up, you deny really the option of picking Singed as the other sort of go-to top laner. I don't know exactly what Elise versus Akali is like. I imagine it's actually pretty good for Elise. And of course, with Renekton gone, doesn't have one of those big sustainy top laners just to kind of wear through everything. So we'll see where Mega goes for here.
Okay, what are we expecting in terms of AD carries? Because Draven's been taken away from Cutie Pie, so that's definitely causing problems for him. Claky D looking like he's going to lock in that Jarvan. Champion is pretty well versed for playing, I believe.
Yeah, it was really his most famous jungler. He played that all throughout the LCS qualifiers, and then if it was ever banned against him, he just kind of went down this tier list of junglers. They actually have given him Jarvan here. Claky D, of course, liking to go for that one first. As for your AD carry question, I think Ezreal's a pretty common pickup here at this point. Misfortune, I think, would be the other big one to look at.
So looking like Rumble's potentially going to be picked up. That would be Mega Zero playing it in the side lane, solo lane, wherever the heck they're going to play lane these days. You never know where the bruises are going to go.
I know MRN doesn't look for lane swaps much anymore. They have Mega Zero play straight up 1v1. Now the thing is here, both these top laners actually will be pretty good with, will be pretty good without farm. So even if they're in 1v2s and get shut down, they'll both be useful as long as they can get levels. And so, really, you're kind of okay in both sides, 2v2 or 2v1.
Well, and the beauty of having Elise as your first pick is it could really be anywhere. We do see Janna coming out here alongside Kaylin. Janna was a champion we've not seen for a long time. We saw him played. I think he was used at MLG, if I recall.
We do see her every once in a while. It's interesting because she's a very defensive support, which to me doesn't feel like the standard Dignitas playstyle, right? Cutie Pie plays Draven, and they get Alistair, and they kill things over and over and over again. And they picked an aggressive top laner like Elise, and then they're like, John and Kate, we're going to play safe in the back line. I'm curious to see what happens in this champ select pool, because these are kind of differing goals here.
Yeah, so Nianton, so maybe thinking of matching things up, mixing things up. Going to go for that AD Annie, but craziness. But no, it's going to be Vayne, and it's looking like it's going to be Sona alongside her.
This is interesting to me because Vayne is going to be having a hard time fighting against Caitlyn. Now, having Sona paired up gives him enough healing that he can probably sustain through that lane and survive it. But Vayne Kate in general is not a very fun lane to be a part of. And the thing is, Janna Kate will out-push Sona Vayne, so either lane situation is a little bit rough for Marn here.
So we're waiting for Dignitas to see what they're going to go with. Patoy, of course, selected Fizz, but we don't expect that one to come in. Don't remember ever seeing Skara playing Fizz in a ranked match, so I don't think that's going to happen. Syndra, now that would be an interesting possibility, and yeah, Diana's probably more likely, and there it is, locked in. So Yorick, would that be
Yorick top, and it's going to be no, it's Nasus jungle.
Yeah.
All right. Now the thing is, Sinjao was available, but and that normally was like the top 3 junglers that North America played was Jarvan, Sinjao, and Vi. And we've seen Europe and Asia play a lot of Volibear and Nasus over and over again. And Nasus is finally making his way into North America now, and that's going to be crumbs on jungle Nasus.
If Diamond Prox picks a champion, it's pretty much the one to go for, I think.
He tends to be the best.
Although he pulled out
innovator.
Udyr, and I wasn't convinced by that one. I still never are convinced. But then again, Jack maybe would try and prove me wrong. But as it is, looking like Karthus may be the final champion selected here. What are we seeing here? You know, this is going to be Echo returning his first game in a while in the LCS. How do we think this is going to go for him?
Karthus is interesting here because he's against Diana, who will probably have a pretty good lane against him. I mean, it could be like Karthus bottom, give him blue buff like 2v1 mid. We see that against melee mid laners, and we sometimes see that with Karthus specifically.
Switch.
Cassian I like a lot more. He's going to have a better lane against Diana. No, it is. He's just going back and forth all the time.
No, really, I want this one.
So it is Karthus. I kind of want to like predict a 1v2 Karthus, sort of, just because I don't really love that matchup mid, but Echo is free to prove me wrong.
So there are your teams locked in. Dignitas versus Marn. What are we seeing overall from these two team compositions?
So Dignitas is interesting because they're very, very all-in. They've got Elise, Diana, Nasus can follow up, and they've got Caitlyn basically on her own, sort of self-sufficient in the back lines with Janna as well. And so they'll have pretty good roam game, pretty good gank game, and then Caitlyn will be pretty safe. Now Marn, they're very team fight focused. They want to 5-on-5. They got Rumble ult, Jarvan ult, Sona ult all together, and then it's basically up to Karthus and Vayne for cleanup duty. And in a team fight, I like Karthus because, well, do you kill Vayne first? Do you kill Karthus first? If you run past Karthus, you die. And if you go for Karthus first, he still has his passive, and Vayne cleans you up. So a 5-on-5, I like Marn a lot here.
Yeah, for this team comp, it says to me that Marn really want to go for the late game.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they've got the Karthus in there, they've got the Vayne, they really need to stretch this game out.
Those are the two big in that role late game picks. Karthus probably the hardest scaling AP mage. Vayne basically tied with Kog'Maw for the hardest scaling late game AD carry. It's going to be an interesting setup.
It is definitely going to be an interesting setup. If you've just joined us, of course, don't get worried. You're not confused. I am here in America. I have come over to the North American LCS. I'm joined by Freak, and I'm going to be joined by Kobe as well later on in the day. Unfortunately, Rivington has had to send himself off to PAX, which is, I don't know whether that's good or bad. I mean, I think he's quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a cool place to be in Boston. I mean, PAX is always fun. We have a really big booth there. I think actually Riot has the biggest booth at PAX East. I think I could be wrong. Don't yell at me if I'm wrong there, but someone posted about it, and I just decided to believe whatever was said on the internet, and it must be true because it was written on the internet.
It must be true on the internet. Of course, there are your two teams in the background. Dignitas as the blue team trying to get back into top position in the league. Can they do it, though? They've got to win every game here, I think, and I'm not too sure even how that's going to swing the win percentage. I think Curse is still going to top them.
Yeah, I think they're 4 losses versus 2, so unless they double Curse's wins, which can't happen mathematically, they're at best second at the end of the week, but they could drop if they lose here, so they definitely want to get wins, of course.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Dignitas as the blue team on your screen. Kiwi Kid on Elise. We've seen it earlier on, how he's managed to pick it 5 times, and I believe he's had 5 successful wins with it as well. Marn as the red team coming in, maybe going to face check straight in towards there. They put the Demacia standard down. Patoy does not get spotted out. Are we seeing anything from early level 1s? Level 1 game is kind of fell away in Season 3 a lot.
Well, there's going to be at least a very interesting level 2 or 3 game because Patoy has run Summoner Teleport. So there's already a bit of a different mix here. That's why QtPie picked up Caitlyn. He's going to be very, very self-sufficient on that champion. Patoy is going to be all over the place, lending shields and crowd control and things like that. He can teleport to a ward, help counter jungle. Again, both Kiwi Kid and Skara will love to fight early game. And it's going to be really high impact early game from Dignitas. Expect a lot of moves from them.
And of course, we're going to make sure we can try and keep the focus on the changes in the MRN setup. Nintonso alongside Heartbeat. See how that plays out between them. Of course, Nintonso on Vayne. Definitely a champion that's going to need a lot of farm to get going. It does look like Skara's going to be choosing to take this bottom lane, and he's going to be in a 1v1 against Mega Zero by the looks of it.
Yeah, so they've gone for basically... Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening, of course. Right now they have the... Echo is waiting down by the Wolves with Mega Zero's Rumble, so they are looking like they're going to grab an early blue buff down here. Jarvan starting near the red, so it is going to be an interesting early game setup here for MRN. I'm curious to see what they end up doing, if it is going to be that Karthus bottom lane 1 versus 2. Crum's, of course, getting help on his red. So, I mean, you see kind of a normal start here from Dignitas, and Skara in the bottom lane, and an interesting setup here.
Yeah, so Dignitas are kind of... This is what Dignitas have done a lot of, and this is actually... I mean, I hate to call it, this kind of the Korean style, you know, and that's just what they do. They stack up in that mid lane, and maybe with IMCutie, normally they do it with Lulu, though, alongside. So it does amaze me that they have pulled out Janna for this.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really great for them. Of course, they know that Caitlyn will have a very easy lane against Karthus, so she is free to roam around. The early vision ward's actually going to really hurt Crumbs' jungle. They might actually go for a gank. They are pulling Nintonso down.
Yeah, everybody's coming down here. You can see Kiwi Kid just off the side if he can land on those cocoons. Crumbs has already pulled aggro. Patoy's come to join in, so it's going to be a 3-on-3 if they can get some poke back and forward. See Kiwi Kid putting a quick Q down on towards Jarvan, but they are pressuring here, and then he's going to see Claky D going in towards it, on towards Kiwi Kid. He's taking it very low, but Claky D now taking a lot of damage. Crumbs does force him back though, and Patoy, being the man that's chasing Janna, I'm not too sure he's in the right position. He's like, yeah, manly.
Yeah, but it ends up that because Caitlyn was closer to that side, they had a 4-on-3 before it could have been a 4-on-4. Crumbs, of course, smiting that away, knew that Claky D might have tried to steal that, so he's going to just get his way out of that one quickly. And there we go. We can just see that Dignitas came out pretty well out of that. They're up 300 gold. Yeah,
they managed to keep hold of the blue, though, which is more importantly. Kiwi Kid did get taken low, and he did have to choke through some of those potions. Started off all potions. And Mega Zero down that bottom lane, he started out with the Fortitude potion, along with Skara, so both of them those Fortitude pots, both of them keeping the CS fairly close. Skara at the moment with that 10 CS lead, but you'd expect that early on in the levels, I think, against the Rumble.
Yeah, it's going to happen a little bit. Rumble has a hard time last hitting early on. What I do want to point out, though, is this mid lane. It's very, very important here between PewDiePie and Echo. Echo has run armor seals, so he does have a little bit of durability there against Caitlyn, but he's still having a very rough time in this one. You're seeing PewDiePie farm pretty much perfectly, first place in the game. And really what you want to look at is how hard is Kiwi Kid's lane, because none of them are all that bad for MRN. Crumbs, though, with the steal is going to be nice.
Yeah, Crumbs in there, and you see Claky D's already just gone back, so it's Skara that's going to end up with this blue buff. So Skara with the blue buff in the bottom lane. No! Crumbs got it. Scumbag.
I don't know if the Lizard buff ticked it away or if they just really wanted to refresh that buff on him. But yeah, basically the failed invade by Claky D, and a lot of that due to PewDiePie's great ability to turn around from the mid lane, it is going to hurt their early game power. And you're seeing them push for the turret because, hey, they got 3 members here.
Yeah, they're going to press on that mid lane, see if they can get on towards it. Meanwhile, this top lane, you can see the tower already below half health, but they are putting the pressure on towards this mid turret, keeping them away with that Spirit Fire. Claky D going to try and come in, see if he can produce anything, having to stand on those cupcakes that are being laid down there, but PewDiePie just keeping them well away from this one. Gets this passive up there, gets a good snipe on it, and that's the turret down half health already.
It's going to be a pretty decent job here for Echo. It's very easy to farm on the turret as Karthus. This top lane, though, has got a lot of turret pressure. This might be theirs, honestly.
It may well be. It's just a couple more hits. The next wave is almost certainly going to take it down. So Nintonso and Heartbeat doing a fantastic job, actually taking it quicker than the 3-man push in the mid lane here. So it's going to be turret for turret. Here's going to be Dignitas taking the first one of the game. Crumbs picks it up. And that is a good start for Dignitas.
That really is overall. You're seeing Mega Zero survive his lane. So what's happening really is, you got the normal sort of transition of what happens when you have 2-on-1 lanes. Of course, MRN has answered the turret themselves. You expect this from 2-on-1s. We haven't had any tower dives. MRN tried to use their 2-on-1 to steal away blue buff, but Dignitas actually outplayed them there to take the blue buff for themselves. And of course, you saw the fallout from that. So, I mean, that's just a really, really good play by Dignitas. I'm curious to see what happens after this, though, because this has kind of been more or less the standard opening you'd expect from this game.
And I always question why they don't defend it better, because for me, Dignitas have got a massive advantage taking that mid turret down. It gives them such a huge advantage over that bottom lane. They've got control almost of the Dragon now. You would expect probably the AD lane, are they just going straight down bottom? I would guess they will do to try and just keep more control on that bottom lane.
They're really going to need to. Around 6 minutes in is when Dragon becomes a really easy objective for teams to take over. And if you keep sending 2 people top lane, like even if you gank top lane with your jungler, people will use that numbers advantage and say, we can take Dragon here, and you'll see it go down as a response. Like, it's almost a penalty to gank top lane at this point in the game. So you'll see 2-on-2 down here, 1-on-1 in the mid lane, and the junglers will stay on that half as well.
So we do see Kiwi Kid farming out. He's actually kept up with Mega Zero despite the fact they have been cross lanes. I'm a PewDiePie, of course, keeping his farm going just slightly ahead of Nyenton So, but he's kept up well, of course, both being in separate places. But here comes Claky D. He's going to try and get her towards I'm a PewDiePie. 90 caliber nets towards him. Not too sure on that one. He does manage to get slowed down a little bit. They can't quite get enough, though. He's going to get to the tower and well covered by Patoy.
He popped the red elixir as well to make sure he got a burst of health to survive that one. It's a really, really weird net overall. But I want to kind of keep pointing out about what happened in this game so far, and it's that we've basically seen just slight lane wins from Dignitas. However, MRN, because they put so much pressure on a PewDiePie, are looking for a chance Dragon here.
They are going to try and push on towards it. You can see I'm a PewDiePie around the back. He's giving a lot of pressure on a heartbeat. They're going to try and turn it around. Nyenton So dodging out of that 90 caliber net. Thought he may well try and pin him on the wall, and the rest of the team could follow it up. But that's a good start, good turnaround from MRN effectively, and they're not really going to give up too much on this top lane.
It'll take some damage. Spiderlings really do help bring turrets down fairly quickly. Oh, Scar's in a rough spot right here, though. This could be
Scar might get caught out if that Harpoon can catch on from Mega Zero. Of course, the red buff getting in the way. Wall of Pain did go down. Didn't manage to get on towards him, so Scar walks away from that one. The Fortitude pot running. And did they get the blue buff there? I didn't see where it went.
Echo actually grabbed red with a lay waste because Madrid's procced from Claky D, and it brought it lower than anyone was expecting, and so Echo has a red buff now.
Echo has the red buff. No, not quite the best, but nevertheless, Mega Zero going to face check in towards Scar, tries to turn in damage onto him, gets the moonfall down. He's going to have another swing at him. Mega Zero keeping the harpoons running. He's just delaying it. Claky D is going to try and run up there, pops the shield, and floats back to the tower.
Kiwi Kid is staying near this top lane. This is Dignitas really trying to push that turret down. Honestly, Mar needs to react to this, or they will lose the turret to this constant pressure.
Yes, you can see that he's going to be 2v1 here. I'm not so sure if Mega Zero wants to be in this position. He doesn't want to be in it himself. You can see he's trying to pressure from range, but it is going to be Heartbeat again. The new support player for MRN, taking some pressure down this bottom lane. Nyenton So trying to keep them at bay. But look at this, though. Nyenton So ahead in farm. That's great for Vayne.
He is slightly. The difficulty is you're seeing this lane still a bit difficult. PewDiePie is doing a very, very good job of poking from afar. Heartbeat is forced to chug mana potions here just to try to keep his mana bar up. You know, that harass is just blocked by shields over and over. The heals immediately get reversed. Like, this is still a rough lane for MRN.
Okay, so another thing I've noticed is obviously that Scar has been at that top lane for a long time. It's actually given a lot of farm to Crumbs now. You can see he's at 50 CS. He's been holding this mid lane out for a long time. What sort of benefits is that going to give him?
Well, the thing is, he really wants to complete those big team utility items because they're going to peak the best in mid-game before MRN gets gigantic late. And giving some farm to that Nass, he's going to go for the Runic Bulwark eventually. He's definitely going for the Locket of Iron Solari right. Sorry, not Locket of Iron Solari right. He's going for the Aegis right now. So getting the Aegis, getting the Runic Bulwark is actually a really important pickup here. And the faster they complete that item, the faster they can run into mid-game team fights to try to turn the game.
So the blue buff being given across to Echo, we assume this time. We didn't quite catch it, but we're pretty sure that's the way it was going to go. Scar, meanwhile, passing a ward there, so they know that they're coming down the bottom. Claky D had just backed off, and they saw it. He just went back on that ward. They're going to have to give up this bottom turret.
But that's so smart of them, though. I mean, it's a great gank from Dignitas, of course. They would have gotten a double kill. At worst, they get a turret, which is a great thing to get, but that ward saved them from a turret and 2 kills.
So it does mean they all back off. Let's have a look across the board at the items. We can see, of course, the mid laner Echo trying to build up that Rod of Ages. Did go for the tier first off, trying to get that Ceres Embrace possibly built up as quick as possible. Skara, in the meantime, he's gone for the book, trying to get the Dawn's Ring in there as well. And they've kept up, despite being really in different lanes the entire game, have managed to keep equal in CS. And if you look across the board, really, in terms of CS, across everyone, they've all kept fairly steady.
And what's interesting, though, as well is you know, these minion kills are so equal, despite a couple of interesting things that have been done by Dignitas, is Patoy is actually maxing his Howling Gale, the Q, the long-range AoE Tornado, first above his shield. who's actually running around pushing lanes with AoEs and trying to let his team follow up off that and push turrets down.
Claky D going aggressive on PewDiePie, but the rest of his team not quite with him. Didn't go jumping in with the Cataclysm. Mega Zero pinging, saying, hey guys, I've got 2 people in the top lane. Guys, anyone going to help me here?
Yeah, it's a rough place for him, honestly. Like, this is very smart from Dignitas. This early pressure is exactly what they need. They're against Vayne and Karthus, who just do not have pressure early game, do not stop pushes all that well, are available victims to turret dive, and this is the right move by Dignitas completely.
Yeah, and I can't see, even if Claky D comes in, I can't see them turning this into a kill, unless Crumbs does start taking a couple of tower hits, which he did start doing there. Get a quick poke on towards Mega Zero. Of course, as it stands, Skara, oh, he's going up towards the north as well. Claky D's going to see him, though. He's on Golems.
All right, this is going to be interesting. Of course, they do have a ward as well for Patoy. Mega Zero's actually recalling back. Claky D's not going to even get disrupted here.
He doesn't get disrupted. They're going to 3-man stack on towards his top turret, and immediately Mega Zero's like, yeah, we can't hold this one. It's going to be another turret. That's going to be 3-1 in terms of turrets for Dignitas.
Yeah, the Eclairs didn't actually completely hit all of the minions there. Unfortunately for him, if he had killed the wave, they would have been able to keep that turret alive from the backdoor bonus. But Dignitas have found their 3rd turret kill of the game, rightfully theirs, honestly. Their team, again, better early game. MRN, they just need to wait it out and get Karthus to late game status.
Yeah, Dignitas are slowly but surely being piled back in, and everything I'm seeing right now from Dignitas is so Korean style. Everything right now. This is exactly what they do. They'll stack in the mid. They'll go down the bottom. They'll wipe the objectives out. That's all the 3 outer turrets now, and then they're just going to stack up on one of these turrets. They're probably going to get the dragon. You can see it's up in 53 seconds. They're probably going to stack for that and say, well, slowly but surely suffocate the gold away from Mark.
It's really, really smart. They're playing a very good strategic game. They said, okay, we know we can pressure Karthus early. Most mages can't really push him out pre-6, and to be fair, that's also true with Diana. So they threw Caitlyn at him and said, look, we'll push you through. We're going to we're going to start really pushing people away, you know, deny him some farm, put damage into his turret, kind of ruin his day. And that worked for them, right? They got these 3 turret kills. They're going to be just, again, as you said, looking to strangle the map, and they've done that. They've played very well strategically.
As it is with the roaming that's happened from Skara, he has fell behind in terms of CS, but with those 2 turret advantage, you're going to feel he's probably ahead in gold. As it is, Dragon is going to be up in 2 seconds. Does anyone really want to fight for this? Is this the case? Dignitas feeling strong right now?
It depends, because if Dignitas pulls aggro on Dragon, then MRN can fight them and basically get a 6v5 out of this one. But Dignitas have done a very good job putting down vision wards, so MRN are going to be very blind looking for that sort of gank. That's going to be a difficult situation for them.
The most dangerous thing for them is that they can't afford to get either Nyentonso or Echo, either of them kills. As it is with Heartbeat, with that crescendo, they could catch all of them, which is why you can see Dignitas kind of separated, spread around the map right now. Crumbs just off at the side there. Dignitas not quite in a 5-man huddle yet. So they're trying to get in position. They have got that pink ward in place, which is giving them full vision still of the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, and so you're just seeing Scar making a great move there. He pushes the bottom lane, knows he has free farm there. You're seeing Claky do the exact same thing in the mid, but Dignitas can obviously regroup back, make it a 5-on-5 once again. And you're going to see these guys constantly jockey for position over and over and over again. The Vision Ward kills another turret, and here comes Scar. They've been flanked.
They've finally gone in. The Cocoon lands on towards Echo. He's taken incredibly low already, and Echo gets dropped. First blood finally coming in there. Crumbs manages to poke him in. You can see the crescendo hitting across. Garth's ultimate Requiem will hit down. Kiwi Kid in all sorts of trouble as well. Quick Mega Zero is going to follow through on him. Nyentonso does pick up a kill, and that's going to be Mega Zero taking down Kiwi Kid. Claky D Cataclysm on towards PewDiePie, but Skara comes in. They flash through. PewDiePie picks up one. He's going to pick up a second on Heartbeat as well, but now coming around the backside, Nyentonso's in trouble. He goes down to Skara, and Dignitas come out on top of that one, 4 for 2.
That was an excellently positioned fight there from Dignitas. They got the stun early. They caught up there with Karthus, but a lot of damage. Oh my gosh, Skara, you're not in a good place either. Must flash away. I don't think Mega can chase this one.
Oh, but he's going to come follow through. He doesn't realize that PewDiePie is in the bush, but actually the shield was used. The harpoon just missed by a fraction.
Oh my gosh, so little health left on him, down below 100. The harpoon would have hit. Oh wow, he actually maxed shield seconds, so the harpoon wouldn't have killed him anyway, is the funny thing. I don't know if he would have killed him if he got more points into it, but certainly a really good pickup there. Just enough crowd control there from Dignitas. Yeah, they lost a flash, but a kill's worth it. And there's the teleport Patoy. He's pushing the side lane.
Teleport Patoy goes straight down, quickly picks up some gold. And look at the farm, though. He's got 30 CS compared to 4. That's a big CS for a support player.
And we actually saw basically AP Janna from Elements at MLG. He got a Morella Namicon fairly quickly on. and it actually gave him a good bit of ability powers. And, you know, it's not too bad, but of course, MRN get a free dragon.
They come straight back in, got that dragon. That's going to try and take the gold lead down a little. They are still 3,000 down. 5-2 in kills, of course. First blood coming a long time into this, but as it stands, Skara's looking very strong. Gone back, got that needlessly large rod. 3-0-1 right now, Skara. Way ahead in terms of items over Echo.
But this is going to be interesting because basically Skara is going for that attack speed Diana build. I think he's going Zhonya's next, which will actually be really important for him. But basically, he's against the team who are very good against melee champions. Karthus, Jarvan, Rumble, Vayne, even the Sona ult as well. They're all very good at punishing short-range fighters because they're all going to be in the area of effect. They're all going to be dealing damage. And that's going to make Skara's life a little bit difficult. And so what I'm curious to see is how well Skara survives those fights. Does he go in late? Does he position away from Karthus or kill him really, really fast and just kind of get away from the AoEs? That's going to be an interesting difficulty here for Skara.
My one question really about Dignitas right now is would Patoy have benefited more possibly gaining exhaust? Bearing in mind there is a Vayne on the opposition team.
I think
nobody's got exhaust.
You're absolutely right, and that can be really, really worrisome. We'll see if it ends up panning out that Niantanso cannot be stopped in fights. But thankfully for Dignitas, they still have Wither, at least from Nasus, and they still have basically the double assassin there of Skara and Kiwi Kid. That might be enough to shut down Niantanso in a fight.
We do see Crumbs putting damage on that mid tower, and of course, you know, Crumbs can do a lot of damage on Nasus. Those Qs work on towers.
Yes, it does a whole heck of a lot of damage. Of course, no one maxes that early, but you still get the damage boosted up. He's at plus 123 right now on that ability. We'll keep seeing it scale up.
See how it scales. This bottom turret, of course, has been taken very low. Then Niantanso getting slowed. It's just a couple more shots from Cutie-Pie, and he's quite happy to take it up. Claykidy's had to come and deal with Crumbs in this mid lane, which means that bottom inner turret will get left, and it does look like Dignitas is just going to get a couple more shots and finally take it down. That'll be 4-1 in turrets. Kiwi Kid looking to try and get the cocoon through the edge here.
Yeah, they're going to have a 5-on-4 available. Well, actually, no, I take that back. They don't have... Oh my gosh, he caught Claykidy, though.
He's gone out to Claykidy. Claykidy has to slide away that one with that combo. And that does mean they are down to a 4-on-5 already. And it means also the mid turret has been left available. Crumbs, look at this. He's nearly taken his mid turret down.
Yeah, it's a sort of textbook Dignitas late game is they just push every lane at once all the time. And most teams are not able to really react to that very well.
And he's just got one more hit. Cataclysm goes down. The minions are going to go down, which means it's going to be 1 tower hit. Is it going to be 2 tower hits? Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. Claykidy finishes off Crumbs. Nice comeback. Can they try and turn something down the bottom?
It's a certain possibility. It's still only a 4-on-4, but again, there's no Baron buff. They could go for the long-range Rumble initiation. They're getting Jarvan down. They go for it.
Going for it. The equalizer goes down. It's Kiwi Kid, though, throws out the cocoon, slows the approach down. If Megazero can land that harpoon on anyone, which I don't think he can, the spider came out. And just look at that. How quick they can evacuate. They've got the Howling Gales. They've got the cocoon. Everything's just thrown at them to knock them back. Have they left this mid lane open, though?
They've got a chance here. Certainly, there's still a bunch of guys at the bottom lane. I think, yeah, Marn, this is their turret. Their name's written all over it. This will be their second turret kill of the game.
So Marn written down the side, and it is going to take that turret down. 5-man push. I think they're going to have to back off straight away from this one. They can't take any more objectives from it, but that is a good turnaround, purely forced by Claykidy. Getting aggressive on Crumbs there. 5-3 in kills. You can see the goal difference still just around about 3,000, and that equates to 1 tower going down, but Marn so far have had control. They've had the 2 dragons, so really it's simply losing the farming lanes between everything. You should look at it. You can see between the 2. Kiwi Kid, Mega Zero, 20 CS difference. Big advantage actually Echo over Skara. He has a 20 CS advantage, but of course Skara has those 3 kills. And the AD carries are still actually even right now, despite the fact the kills were layered on towards Cutie-Pie.
Now the gold lead is really all the supports right there. You've got the 50 minions on Patoy. Again, he maxed 2, he's able to split push. Oh, Mega Zero at the bottom though.
Skara going on towards Mega Zero. Mega Zero overheating as well. He's in all sorts of trouble. Skara pops him, launches him in the air. Echo was coming down, but he was just a little bit too late.
And not a lot of magic resist there on Rumble when you fight a high magic damage like Skara, like Diana. She's able to do a whole heck of a lot of damage. Again, a really, really, really good duelist. And when you're as mechanically proficient as Skara is, you tend to find kills.
And after watching some LCS, I'll go back to it in a moment, but you can see Skara may well get caught out, but Cutie-Pie on Heartbeat just off the side here. Oh, the crescendo misses, and now comes the teleport. Heartbeat's going to get taken down, acing a hole through the wall from Amy Cutie-Pie, and they are just going to back off. Crumbs coming around the side. Who's he going to wither down? It's Echo. They want to target on towards Patoy's going to come in. Howling Gale comes out, but he forces the flash away.
That was an excellent, excellent fight there by Dignitas. They got 2 unanswered kills, and the pressure is still on. This is their turret, and Kiwi Kid is even looking for a flank.
The turret goes down. Kiwi Kid comes around the side. The cocoon lands on towards Mega Zero. Can they put enough damage down? No, they won't. They are going to back away from this one, but it does not matter. Damage done now. 4,000 gold difference, 4-2 in turrets.
And all I can keep thinking of is that Dignitas are making all the right strategic moves. Every engage has gone well for them. I can't think of a single fight they've lost. They may have traded kills, but it's always gone to the advantage. But the only thing I can keep coming back to is they are on a ticking clock here. The late game is there from MRN. Dignitas are playing it well, but they've got to keep these kind of moves going, and it's harder and harder and harder to kill inner turrets. We'll see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, they've got to keep the farm going. As it is, you can see, IMQDPie obviously picked up that other kill. That's going to help out. Caitlyn's not that much of a slouch late game, but compared to a Vayne, definitely a difference between the two. You can see in terms of CS, it is still Ninton. So the new AD carry for Marn with that advantage. Scarab comes down to pick up the blue buff. And what I was about to touch on, the North American scene have learned. I remember watching many of these matches and hearing chat zone, what is wrong with these people? Why are they not buying runic bulwarks? But there you do. Both teams, they have one apiece.
Well, exactly, because both these teams are running double AP comps, and even actually Nasus, I think, has more magic damage than physical. Spirit Fire is always maxed first. Neontonso gets caught.
Neontonso's caught out, and that's going to be... Oh, he flashed just in the right time, and has been saved. Can they follow it up? The Wither was slowing him down, but the ace in the hole was not quite enough to take him off.
But you look at the amount of damage that team is able to put out onto him, right? Assassins and just long-range engagement. That is really the hallmark here of Dignitas' team. And if they can keep doing that every fight, it doesn't matter how much gold Neontonso has. If he's forced away every time, he'll never fight with the team.
They're trying to force some advantage here from the fact, but I don't think it's going to work out. Man, have to be careful because they've got to back away from this one very quickly. Dignitas are going to turn and run on them. Here comes Kiwi Kid. He repels in. He goes straight on towards Echo. He's going to switch around. He's going to get the cocoon down. Echo gets dropped. Cataclysm comes out from Clanky D and actually pins Heartbeat in there. Heartbeat does get the crescendo across. Can they turn this around? That's going to be Skara going down. Crumbs is going to drop as well. One more hit from Clanky D will finish that off. Can they continue to chase? Vayne chasing on towards the support of Patoy. He may well be able to close this down, and he's got an Oracle on. One more gamble should tumble in. Will manage to finish him off. You can see coming out, the Howling Gale has slowed him down. He's going to keep chasing. Skara, meanwhile, sorry, down the bottom. It's not Skara, it's Kiwi Kid that's going to come around and get the cocoon and save Patoy's life. And IMQDPie protects the turret.
That was really, really awesome play there at the very end there by Kiwi Kid.
Oh, Heartbeat's in trouble.
Heartbeat is in trouble. It was a good counter engage though by Marn. That fight overall, they thought they had the free kill on Echo. They burned a lot of cooldowns. So
block it! Oh! No! He didn't have the tumble. He didn't tumble in to block it, and that's Neontonso just letting his support die.
Oh, scumbag Nien. But man, that fight, again, to kind of go back to it though, Skara engaged so very heavily. The problem was though, he found a face full of Equalizer and his Zonius ended right before Requiem actually landed, so he got immediately bursted down. A 500 kill streak, or 500 gold kill was given away to Marn. Of course, 250 for the assist on that one, so that's a pretty decent gold swing there. And Echo is just scaling up.
So advantages currently. Skara 5-1-2, definitely big advantage, but you talked about it already. Ticking clock. That was close. It's still a 6,000 gold advantage, but Marn turned around that fight, you know, despite being caught out, despite Vayne not even being there at the start of that fight. He had to come running in to try and save the day. So, does that spell danger for Dignitas, or have they got a big enough advantage built up already? It's 5-2 currently, and we do see Skara way off at the moment. And there's actually people closing in. Oh, in the mid lane, in the jungle, sorry, the river, it's going to be Patoy getting caught out there. Cataclysm comes out from Clanky D. Oh, but he's been blown out by the monsoon. He's going to surely finish through. Demacia Standard will be back up in a moment. Are they going to be able to continue through on this one? No, they've given up because they didn't have the vision. Meanwhile, in the turret, they're losing. They're pressuring them. IMQDPie pushing on towards the mid turret.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage right here. Again, this is Dignitas with the constant split pushing. Patoy has teleport up, so he can rejoin his team if he needs to. And the problem is, though, no one can heads up 1v1 against QtPie. No one can chase him down. They don't have a real assassin there. And, of course, he's so long range, they won't pick up the kill. So, honestly, they can always have QtPie split. He'll always be safe. And who's going to dive Skara and win either? Like, they're able to split so well.
Oh, that's the equalizer going down. They're trying to catch onto PewDiePie, just as you mentioned. Oh, the flash crescendo comes out. He catches Skara, but they didn't know he was in the bush, and now they're going to turn it back around on Heartbeat. And you can see Mega Zero is having to throw out the harpoon. It's Claky D. I think he put the ace in the hole on the wrong person there. I'm pretty sure he was aiming for Heartbeat, just misclicked it. Crumbs is going to continue pursuing this one, though. One more shot on towards Heartbeat. He's going to go down. He's going to get dropped, and now they're piling in. Echo, but they're all in the Defile right now. Echo will go down. They're still going to exit from this Defile. Here's going to become the Requiem. Will it do enough damage? Skara's ultimate just finishing off there. Crumbs picks up another kill. The Entonto off the side has to use his ultimate, but he's going to get taken down. Skara comes in. It's a double kill and an ace for Dignitas.
Well, it was a great fight for them. Last time you saw an amazing crescendo come through, the prior team fight where they won. This time, Heartbeat lost it, trying to pick up the kill on a PewDiePie who flashed it. Trading ace in the hole for crescendo, I will do that any time if I'm Dignitas. That is a fine trade. MRN, without that area of that crowd control, had a much harder time in that fight, and you saw a very easy cleanup.
And you see PewDiePie here looking like he may well take this turret down. Heartbeat has spawned, but he does not want to go anywhere near PewDiePie right now. Phantom Dance around that Bloodthirster, 407. Caitlyn, a scary, scary monster. Skara now 8-1-3. He's got a lot of damage now, and you just saw him just going deep in there. Had no cares whatsoever to just dive on that team. As soon as that crescendo was used, they knew there was nothing at all that they could use. I don't think Cataclysm was available either, because Claky D had used it on Patoy just a moment before.
Yeah, they are basically without ultimates that fight completely, and that's really the big issue there, is you want Crescendo to make the Rumble ultimate hit you for longer. You want Crescendo, or Cataclysm as well, right, the one that you mentioned. Just like, this team wants to fight in a small, localized area where Dignitas cannot move, and Dignitas has to all in to fight. Like, their composition would work in a 5-on-5, but Dignitas have done such a good job of finding stray kills, forcing cooldowns, forcing people to leave the fights early, that they're able to fight these lopsided battles over and over again.
They're chasing on toward Heartbeat there. Crystal Strike doesn't land from Skara. He eats a harpoon in his face instead, but he's not too worried about that. He's got a heck of a lot of damage, and Heartbeat, the new support for MRN, I might add, has had some questionable crescendos. Funny thing, actually, talking to Corellius, a prolific Sona player in Against All Authority, he talks about the fact that he uses crescendo purposely just to target that one person. So it's a difference maybe, that, and that's exactly what Heartbeat's been trying to do. He's been trying to get that crescendo onto PewDiePie, but it's not working, whereas some players obviously save that crescendo to try and get a, you know, the big showtime hit, the 3, 4, 5-man crescendos.
Yeah, the #1 billboard hit sometimes is the best way to use that. We'll see what ends up happening in this game. Of course, the ultimates are almost back up here. Echo just has a few seconds, 33 left on his ultimate, but that is the only ulti waiting to get back from cooldown. And MRN are going for a chance thing here. They've got Caitlyn and Skara both very far away. This could be theirs.
He got a long way away. You can see I'm a PewDiePie desperately running up there. The Baron's down half health already. He's going to drop very low. They're going to have to get in towards this one. They use the equalizer to keep Crumbs away. They get the Baron, and now they turn on towards Crumbs. Cataclysm, that's going to be Crumbs going down. The Entonto picking up the kill there. Can they turn into any more? I'm a PewDiePie now joins the fight, but Dignitas were caught slouching there. But I'm a PewDiePie just off the side. Heartbeat, you've been caught out again. Crescendo has to come out. He's going to run, but the slow's enough. The repel from Kiwi Kid, and there is Heartbeat going down again. His Heartbeat is not lasting too long in this game.
Yeah, that was a he is flatlining in this game, certainly. Unfortunately that was a miscommunication by MRN. He just went the other way of the rest of his team, and he's just so slow. Red buff Caitlyn just dragged him down right there. They're still a 4-on-4, but they burned 2 ultimates for that fight, both Equalizer and Cataclysm. MRN really doesn't want to fight. Of course, they burn Heartbeat's ult too. Like, they can't fight without ults back up. Dignitas, despite Baron buff, can just push for the next 30 seconds.
PewDiePie does not give a monkeys right now. He's just quite happily walking up and soloing those turrets. He's going to take away the red buff. They're pressuring in towards the inner inhibitor, the middle inhibitor, I should say, and this top lane also being pressured. The red buff was stolen away by PewDiePie. He's going to go back and buy. What's he going to pick up? He's 408 right now, goes back, Last Whisper, of course, and a Fortitude bar.
And that is a pretty good amount of tank there on PewDiePie. The interesting thing to point out there as well is you normally see Infinity Edge come out from champions like Caitlyn or Tristana, who are looking to do just single target damage output, but he knows that he has to be self-sufficient here and survive dives, so he's gone the Bloodthirster instead. A little bit less damage, but a lot more durability in fights, and it's worked out well for him. 0 deaths.
And what I want to talk about as well is obviously Patoy. I mean, just look at his build right now. It's definitely a little bit different from your average support. We saw him go Janna. He's gone full AP Janna, but it's Clicky trying to engage there, not going to land on it. He's picked up 86 CS. He's 0-0-12, perfect score. Oh, actually, I'm going to talk about that in a moment because Cutie-Pie is going to get dived on. Cataclysm comes down. The Monsoon isn't enough to save him. You can see Nientonso goes in, gets one more hit. He does take him down. Nientonso, the shield goes down. Scarra's being targeted, gets pinned down. One more shot, and that's a double kill for Nientonso. Now he's being kited. Kiwi Kid comes in, gives the assassination, and gets the hell out of there.
But they did get a 2-for-1, and Martin still has Baron buff on 3 members. They could keep pushing in on this one. You can see the damage onto the turret. Clicky puts the flag down to keep the push going a little bit stronger. But Patoy's got so much wave clear. He's got max movement reduction. He's got a lot of ability power in the shield. You can see it deceptively baits Martin. They get it eventually. But Patoy, that's the funny thing, is he's actually a threat here.
He is actually a threat. See the items he's got. So take us through this. The advantage of giving your support this much CS, this much ability power.
It's really good because...
And teleport top again.
Yeah, well, Patoy's on a champion that actually scales with AP on every single ability. So watch the wave clear here. Look at that. Gets pretty much the entire minion wave, like barely doesn't get the caster minions there with the Howling Gale. But also remember that both Monsoon and Eye of the Storm, the shield and his ultimate, the heal, those scale with ability power as well. To look at Patoy's ulti, it's 150 health per second for 4 seconds. So it's a 600 point AoE heal. If you look at Requiem, Requiem's only at like 780 before magic resist. Monsoon fully cancels Requiem in a team fight.
If they're in the right place at the right time, which has been a problem, and you would expect with that equalizer, that's the main key. Split them away from Patoy right now. And if you are watching, ladies and gentlemen, at home in solo queue, this does not justify the support player to just say, hey, I've seen it on stream, I'm taking all the farm, thanks guys. I can foresee so many reports right now in solo queue. But Echo picking up the blue buff, and you can see Kiwi Quid actually kind of come across there. I think Scarra stole that away.
No, Echo still has it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, Echo managed to grab it. It was a close one, but Echo did pick that one up. So now we can see here, we got to that late game status. Certainly these fights are chaotic. They're going back and forth over and over and over, and it's really crazy. But Dignitas, they've kind of run out of early game victories to grab, right? Dragon is a smaller impact in the game. They've already taken 6 turrets out, which can give them, of course, a victory because they can push the mid lane, but you can see the late game of Marn has started.
The equalizer goes down, keeps Cutie-Pie down. Crescendo comes across. Cutie-Pie's the target. He's taken low. There is that big high hit point Monsoon. Immediately they're putting the damage out, but they're all in the defile right now. Scarra uses that Zhonya's hourglass. Requiem comes out. Will it be enough? Oh, it's a big hit, and he does take many down. Mega Zero also catching on towards Patoy, but Cutie-Pie face check-ins. Bam! Straight away, Mega Zero going down. It's AD carry versus AD carry, both equal on hit points, and everybody backs out. A 4-for-4 fight.
Wow, Mega Zero, like a full heal right there. Flash to tank the ult just to keep his AD carry alive. I tried to do the math in my head. It would have been really, really close. Nientonso had about 500-600 health. Cutie-Pie's ult was going to hit for about 800. So, you know, 950 actually. So, yeah, Mega said, you know what, Nientonso, you're worth more on the map. I'll just flash for you.
Yeah, and he can keep the waves clear. You can see he's picking up a hell of a lot of farm. So actually, it's given him a massive wave of gold purely off that save from, as you call him, Mega Hero. So very well played there. 2014 currently in kills, 53,000 to 47,000. So that's 6,000 gold lead. It's been there for a while now, but it's starting to become less and less of an importance because as we move on, as we start to hit 60, 70,000 gold limits, Vayne is going to get stronger. Karthus is going to get stronger. This is going to become a legitimate issue right now for Dignitas.
And you can see that he's actually playing, I'm talking about Echo here on Karthus, he's actually playing around the Zhonya's hourglass more and more, waiting until it comes up, until Scarra is back and available to be hit, and then pops it, make sure he hits the entire team really, really hard. Scarra does now finally have some magic resist for himself. He went for the Abyssal Scepter to keep himself alive a little bit more. But what you're seeing, though, is that front line for Marn is not really very tanky, and Mega Zero gets caught out again.
Mega Zero caught out. He's going to go down and see the damage. Did use the equalizer as well. Not too sure if it was kind of worth putting down, but it did go down regardless. It's a fairly quick cooldown on that, but it does mean Dignitas are going to have that opportunity. They're going to push straight through for this open inhibitor.
And that's completely there. It's the 5-on-4. There's no way Marn could reasonably contest for this whatsoever. So Dignitas are now going to have complete pressure on the map after this one, and it's going to make that coming up Baron really difficult as well. Look at that. Nientonso loses about a third of his health just from like a 1-minute cooldown.
Cutie-Pie building up that damage What is he going to go with that next Bloodthirster? It could be a second Bloodthirster. We've seen it a lot in Europe lately. Or will he just go straight for the Infinity Edge? Then possibly.
Infinite Edge is definitely the most likely here.
6-1-10 currently, imaqtpie. Definitely been one of the hero ADs. Oh, look at this. They're trying to set a trap. They're trying to set a trap. Will Marn fall for it, or will they go straight down the side? You'd expect that Damashi standard be used to check it instead. Oh, he doesn't manage to get it, but the Wither goes down, immediately slides away. Probably the last person they wanted to hit. Claky D there does manage to get straight away with that slide.
They've got 20 seconds till the equalizer, though. Marn does not want to fight here yet. Here comes another one. Miantanso, you're... Ooh, he could have gotten spidered there.
Toying with fire there. He has got a QSS, so he could try and clear off from that cocoon, but as it stands, Dignitas are going to trade here. They're going to go for Baron, but they could give up an inhibitor here.
Yeah, but as far as gold value is concerned, Baron is worth more. They're going to kill that right away. Patoy's already recalling. Of course, he will have shields for that turret. Niantanso going to face tank this one for a little bit. They'll get maybe the inhibitor at most, but that's all they'll get, and then Dignitas will have control over the map.
There's the shield going down from Patoy. Can it save them long enough? The rest of the team have responded. They're all going to run him with the home guard boots. They come straight in. There's the equalizer going down, but Echo's going to turn. Crescendo managed to hit. Kiwi Kid uses the Zhonya's Hourglass perfectly there. And then comes Skara. Comes boiling in. Puts us Zhonya's Hourglass down. Requiem will come out, but it's not going to quite be enough. He does take crumbs. Claky D gets dropped. And just off the side, Mega Zero with the snipe ace in the hole. Bam! Skara's going to finish him off. He's just got one more swing of that Crescent Strike. Trying to wait until he gets the right time, but he couldn't quite get close enough. But it doesn't matter. It's a 4-for-2 advantage gained. imaqtpie again running straight up by mid lane. He's going to put a lot of pressure on towards them Nexus turrets.
That's a really, really, really good fight there from Dignitas overall. That Baron buff contributed a lot of power. Scar can convert that AP into a shield to keep him from going down. You see Patoy doing the same thing with his ability power, shielding and Monsooning to keep damage from really sticking anywhere. And that sort of AoE, right? When you look at Requiem, when you look at Rumble's ultimate, it's short duration. You kind of burst it down after 4 or 5 seconds, you've kind of run out of damage there. And when you can heal up just enough and have still killed Karthus, then there's no damage left to threaten, and you can mop up from there. That's what you saw Dignitas do. They just overhealed that AoE burst and cleaned up.
A huge chunk put on towards that tower. imaqtpie again, nearly sniped it away from Skara. Echo having to clear up duty. So, Dignitas, big advantage gained out after that fight. They did pick up the Baron. They gave him a gold advantage, and of course, more importantly, Marn didn't take down that inhibitor. They got the turret down, but didn't manage to finish it off. So they're going to have to pick up a really good fight. But how is that going to develop? How is it going to open itself up? Because as it stands, I'm seeing massive advantages starting to be gained in terms of items for Dignitas here.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've gotten themselves now a 10,000 gold lead. They've stretched the lead back. Though, yeah, you see Karthus and Vayne scale a bit harder. When you get a big enough gold lead, you can use items to kind of overpower that gap, and we've seen that here. I mean, look at Skari. He's so massive, 12, 3, and 8. Like, he's just got a 2,000 gold lead over Echo, and while Echo is threatening, Scar pretty much can't go down anymore. His damage output is massive, and he's incredibly durable with Abyssal plus Zhonya's, and the shield giving him extra health. That guy is going to be almost impossible to take out. If they go to like 45, 50 minutes here, Marn, and everyone has 6 items, they go back to the lead because at that point, gold lead's irrelevant. But for now, you've actually got Dignitas more powerful on the map.
And that really all started as well from Heartbeat. From Mega Zero, getting caught out on that top lane. And almost happened again there. You saw the team rushing towards him. Mega Zero was a long way forward on that turret. They're going to have to give this one up. There's nothing they can do to prevent this turret going down. That's going to be the 7th of the game for Dignitas. And now the pressure on towards this top lane is going to be very strong here. You can see Skara's got the Baron buff on him still, as is imaqtpie. The rest of the team, they don't have it, but honestly, it's not actually a tell-a-lie. Patoy has it as well, which is probably going to cause a problem because he's got a lot of ability power now, picking up the needlessly large rod as well.
So I'm guessing Death Cap,
245 AP.
245 ability power on Ajana. He's got really, really big shields. Of course, he's just still scaling throughout this game. Monsoon now hitting for 236 per tick. He's got basically 1,000 hit point AoE heal. There's a flash crescendo. They're going in on imaqtpie.
Heartbeat goes in for it. The flash crescendo, but he's already dead nearly. It is imaqtpie and Skara they went for, and as you mentioned, they're just too tanky right now. Heartbeat off of the side. Requiem's going to come out, but it's not going to pick up a lot because already Skara's cleaning house. And again, the Zhonya's Hourglass. It toys with Claky D. He comes sliding in, but it's not to be. The Entonso is down, which means the field is completely open for Dignitas to run up the middle. They're going to take down the Nexus turrets, and it will be the game. Mega Zero gets pulled in, he gets poked, he gets caught out again, but it doesn't matter because it is all about the Nexus going down. It's Dignitas with the win. They do take the first win of the day as well here in the NALCS. Are they over their troubles of MLG?
It seems to be, and they are 150 IP richer for the first win of the day there. Great job.
Oh, God.
You said it. You brought it out. It's your fault. But again, absolutely great play by those guys. They definitely played it strategically sound. It looked like the standard Dignitas, right? Pushes everywhere. Really good ganks. Good pressure overall. Great map presence as well. I really got to say that's a big point there. But they played it strategically very, very sound. They were against a late game team, but took all their early advantages. And you saw things that weren't even ganks. It was Crumb saying, yeah, I'm going to push top lane because we want to kill a turret because we know we'll get the turret. A champion's only worth, you know, what, 450 gold? A turret's worth 750. Heck, turrets are good things to gank too.
Well, he took the middle inner turret pretty much on his own as well. You know, he did lose his life there, but he came back and got it again. So it's like, no, that's my turret. And he did take it. So massive advantages. Of course, we do have a replay coming up of that final fight.
Yeah, let's actually break that one down. I want to see exactly what came in right there. And so you see, MRN have been kind of grouped up very, very heavily. Watch the initiation. Scar is going to find a heck of a lot with Crumbs there as well. And it's Echo going down to begin. Watch Scar. He does not even go in right away because he knows Echo is so threatening. He goes into the end for the assassination. Zonia's is immediately after that, which just lets him never get brought down. And then he goes for Neon Tanso. Scar waited to only find the right initiations, waited for Crescendo, waited for Equalizer, found the initiation kill on Echo, found the cleanup kill on Neon Tanso. That's how you play Diana in a hectic AoE team fight. You wait on the outside, come in late, pick up the important kills.
Yeah, and you saw him go in, and he got that moonfall on 3 members of MRN, which in itself is just, boom, pulled you straight in. So fantastically played out by Dignitas here. Superb play, really. I mean, is there anything in the play? I mean, MRN, they were kind of pulling into it, and then they just got caught out in a few situations. And that seems to be the real difference between the top-level NALCS teams and the bottom at the moment.
Yeah, you get to these, like, high tense, like, you know, super tense, like, high-impact moments where you don't know what the right call is because you haven't been in those crazy situations enough. And, yeah, the call to say, oh, we're going to go trade Inhibitor while they take Baron, they underestimated how long it would take for Baron to go down. They underestimated home guard boots. Like, contesting Baron was fine there. They had 5 members. The Rumble ult was up in, like, 10 seconds. They would have been okay to say, yeah, you know what, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. It looked like GGU versus Curse way back in the beginning where they said, guys, we can dive the Nexus. Shoot, no, we can't.
Yeah, and of course, you think back to really the few little plays that turned it. It was about they dived on Patoy, so that ulti used, bam, Dignitas turned it into a 4-on-2 advantage. Again, Heartbeat, sorry, I keep calling Heartbeat. To be fair, Heartbeat missed quite a few crescendos, although saying missed is harsh. Maybe it's the reactions of PewDiePie flashing out of them, seeing them coming. I mean, that's...
You can flash crescendo.
That's like a couple of seconds. Milliseconds, isn't it, really, to be able to do that?
Yeah, so basically every spell in the game has a quarter-second cast time. So anytime you see a Sona flash at you, you're like, she's flashing for a power chord. Like, no, she's flashing for crescendo. So you see her come in, you've got at least a quarter second, and then you've got the actual travel time of the crescendo as well. And of course, props to PewDiePie, he did a very good job of, again, reading the situation, flashing out. But yeah, that's he's looking for it. If, hey, if he doesn't have flash, we'll kill PewDiePie. Okay, shoot, now I'm overextended.
Yeah, and of course, Heartbeat getting it. Keep calling Heartbeat. Mega Zero getting called out in that top lane was definitely the key. It kind of opened up the middle for them. And the inhibitor went down after that.
Exactly. And I think that's part of what pressured them to try to steal that middle inhibitor away as well. They said, guys, we're going to lose pressure on the map. If we sit here and dance for Baron forever, minions will push our base, and that's going to be a really big difficulty for us. So let's try to trade things. Maybe we'll get a big lead out of that. It didn't happen, unfortunately, for MRN. But, it was a nice try.
And you got to think, this is MRN. This is a new lineup for MRN here as well. There's been a lot of changes in that lineup. Niantonso's first game, how do we think? He did a very good job, I thought, on Vayne.
Yeah, again, losing team. His team is down 11 kills. He still went 6, 5, and 7. Again, I called Vayne versus Kate a pretty rough match. He was rocky in a couple points in minions, but you pointed out a couple times he was ahead. Still ended 292 to 281 in minion kills. So again, overall, had a very strong performance there. But yeah, it was more strategic in terms of, I think, where MRN fell down. But they certainly showed they can hang with the best of them.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we're going to have an interview with Crumbs from Dignitas, and then it's time for our second match of the day, which will be TSM versus Complexity. Stay tuned.